It's wild. I'm so grateful that people have found the show because I believed it was a great show when we were making it.
I'm Jordan from Pop Culture Planet. Super excited to talk with you about Extended Family today. I've been watching it with my family and we have been loving it.
Oh, good. Do you have kids? Is it with your
Just my
brothers,
parents.
sisters, you and your? I love that. I love like who's watching it together, and I love that you can watch this with your parents.
Were there any moments on set where you had trouble getting through a scene because you were just laughing too much?
Every day. I mean, every day. No, I have a very small bladder too, so it's always dangerous. And I do feel like I'm going to wet myself in the presence of John Cryer and Donald Faison for comedic reasons, not for other reasons, but thanks for not thinking that. But it is so fun. It's so delightful. Everybody is very funny on the show, but also we're making a show about family. So we're exploring complex dynamics and, creating an infrastructure for the kids. And, now that you've seen it, it's about a couple who's divorced and they put their kids in an apartment called the Nest so they don't have to move back and forth. And then we take turns and now I'm dating someone new and what's that like? And most people are living this now. And I'm glad that more people can see like, okay, like it could be done this way.
I love that it's loosely based on this real family and their real situation. Was there anything that the person your character was based on that you drew from in your portrayal of Julia?
Well, this is what's so interesting. When I read the script, I didn't know it was inspired by a real family. And I just was like, I want to see this kind of divorce on television. And then when I was auditioning for the show, we did Zoomistry readings because during the pandemic, to do things in person, we still know we're pretty limited. So I'm auditioning. I do not have the part yet, but I'm like, I am Julia. I am Julia. And then Amelia, who the character is inspired by, we honestly could be sisters. It was crazy. I was like, wait, what? I was like, one, it's inspired by real people, and it's you. I was like, well, I might be getting this part. Yeah. I was like, my chances just upped by a lot. But I've gotten to know Wick and Amelia and George, and they are so wonderful. And I really do definitely take cues from Amelia. She really is a delight, but she's a successful CEO of a company. She worked on Wall Street for years. She has 2 kids. She is making this work. I mean, she met someone new and she has an ex and they are making it work together. And she's really the woman in the middle. And I would say that's the dynamic that, that Julia is on the show, is like, this is kind of all her doing. It's her fault that they all have to try and get along and be this new family.
I love that representation, and it's such a fresh take on what families can look like and the different dynamics they can have. And it's really great to have that representation on television, in my opinion.
And I think a lot of the comedy, or what I'm noticing, comes from, instead of the 3 of us being antagonistic toward each other, it's really about, okay, there's a problem outside of us, even though we may have certain feelings about it, but how can we band together and work together to face the outside problem, which is exciting because the 3 characters all have different points of view about something. And that is where I notice a lot of the comedy comes from.
It's great to see your characters not take things super seriously when there is an option to add some lightness to a situation.
And I think we need it right now. I mean, I wanted to do a comedy because it's like, I think this is what I need personally. Like, I need to laugh. I need to be a part of something like this and bring more joy and delight. And I like that it goes down easy. I think that's really, really nice. And what sitcoms are made for.
This isn't your first sitcom, but it is the first one in front of a live studio audience. Is that correct?
This is my first live studio audience show where we rehearse all week, and then on Friday nights we put on a show. So that's the new element, and the audience being there in real time and laughing in real time. And they do, and I'm always utterly shocked by it. So that's the new format. But I grew up doing theater and got my start in the theater. So it feels like returning home. And my first job in New York was All My Children. So spent a lot of time in front of multiple cameras on a stage. It feels like this really interesting return home on a, in this new level. And I just love it. I really do. I feel like they're part of it, like they're our partners in the scene. So they give us information, their laughter becomes the rhythm of the scene. And it definitely feels like a slingshot. Like every week, it's like I feel like I'm being shot out of a cannon every single week. It's hard. Like it's hard, it's beautiful, hard work. But I'm a real SNL head. Like I love Saturday Night Live. Like I love variety shows. I love live. Like I'm really interested in that. And when you add cameras to the mix, I think it does something really interesting. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm absolutely terrified, but I have an incredible parachute in Donald and John and Jamie Widows and Mike O'Malley, and so I'm pretty lucky.
So, speaking of audience reactions, Suits had sort of this resurgence over the summer when it got to Netflix. I
Apparently,
know.
it's still having a moment. It's like everyone's saying, "Oh, and it just keeps going." And I'm like, "Wow,"
I personally never watched it when it was on network, but I have rewatched all of the seasons with my parents and we have absolutely loved it. It's such a great evergreen show. How does it feel to have new audiences reaching and seeing this show now?
I mean, it's wild. I just say I'm glad it's happening where we all kind of still look the same. I think it'd be weirder if it was like I'm in a walker and like, oh my God, Scotty, oh thanks, Scotty, like that'd be a little weird, but it's nice that it's still like in the same decade. It's wild. I'm so grateful that people have found the show because I believed it was a great show when we were making it, and to know that people have found it now and uh are saying this is a great show. But it's also interesting. It's, I would say we finished shooting 3 years ago, and my character came in and out because I was shooting time. I mean, I shot several other shows while I was shooting that show, and Aaron Korsh, the creator, was just very, very kind to invite me back again and again. But I shot that show while I was shooting Rectified, True Detective, Timeless, and Reprisal. I shot Suits the entire time while I was shooting other shows. So I don't know, it's just I need to go back and watch it. I got to be part of this rewatch.
Would you ever want to return to Scotty as a character and where do you hope she is now?
I mean, last once we saw Scotty, she had gone to London, and her and Harvey had kind of kept up their working relationship, but obviously now he's moved on with Donna. But I don't think they've really ever moved on, probably in a work capacity. But I'm so curious. Like, we'll see what Aaron has in store for Suits LA, and I mean, it would be a delight into, if he wanted me to come back and play. I mean, and I mean, again, it'll be a new cast, but I love my scene partners from Suits. I love that cast so much, and it was a joy to shoot every scene with them. I mean, really and truly, and the writing is so tremendous. So I'm excited to see what Aaron does next, and if he calls me, even better.
Well, this was great. Thank you so much for taking the time,
Thank you,
Abigail.
Jordan.
You.
Nice to meet you, and tell your parents hi. I can't wait to hear what else they think about the show.
Yeah.
And enjoy New Hampshire.
Thank you.